Hello everyone and welcome to the Ticker.com's news channel on YouTube. On this channel, we review stock markets and discuss financial news, market trends, and economic data from Wall Street to Global Street. So let's dive in. We begin our review of global economy with key releases in the US, Europe, China, and Japan. The U.S. economy accelerated its growth in 2023 despite the widespread predictions of imminent slowdown in the beginning of the year. The U.S. GDP expanded at a faster pace of 2.5% from 1.9% in the previous year, powered by the sustained consumer spending. Moreover, new home sales rose in December and advanced in 2023. Despite elevated home prices and rising interest rates. Across the Atlantic, the European Central Bank left its interest rate unrevised for the third time in a row and provided no additional insights to future direction of interest rates. In other U.S. economic news, the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index increased by 0.2% in December from the previous month and was steady at 2.6% on an annual basis. Core PCE index, which excludes food and energy prices, declined for the 11th month in a row and dropped to 2.9%, the lowest level in nearly 3 years. In Asia, China held its loan prime rate steady, and the People's Bank of China cut reserve requirements ratio for banks and expanded acceptable collateral for loan payments to inject liquidity into the financial system and stabilize financial markets. In Japan, core inflation in Tokyo area declined in January, taking up pressure on the Bank of Japan to shift its stance on the yield curve. Japan's trade deficit fell by 54.3% to 9.3 trillion yen, extending the gap to the third year in a row. Let us review key events in global bonds, currencies, and commodities market last week. The yield on the 10-year U.S. Treasury increased to one-month high of 4.15% after investors assessed the possibilities and timing of future rate cuts after the U.S. economy expanded at a faster pace in 2023 and a measure of inflation declined in December. Gold fell 1% in the week to $2,020 an ounce after the latest data showed a resilient U.S. economy despite higher borrowing costs. West Texas intermediate crude oil prices traded near $77 a barrel, and China reportedly asked Iran to help contain Houthi attacks on Red Sea shipping lanes or risk hurting business relationships. The natural gas prices in Europe fell 9% to a 6-month low of 26 euro per megawatt hour due to high inventories and weak demand because of milder weather conditions. The euro hovered at $1.08 amid general strength in the U.S. dollar, and the European Central Bank president delivered mixed signals on the rate cut outlook. The yen traded about $148 against the U.S. dollar after comments from Bank of Japan Governor Ueda revived the possibility of a shift in stance on the yield curve. We now review key developments in financial markets around the world last week. The S&P 500 index and the Nasdaq Composite extended gains to their third consecutive week after the tech-powered rally got another boost from Netflix. European markets rebounded after luxury stocks soared following LVMH and Rémy Cointreau reporting better than expected results, and the ECB held rates steady for the third time in a row. The Nikkei 225 average dropped after Intel's weak guidance weighed on semiconductor stocks. China's market indices rebounded for the first time in 2024 after the People's Bank of China injected liquidity into the financial system and expanded acceptable collateral for loan payments. Indian market indices struggled amid mixed quarterly results and foreign investors reducing stakes in local banks. We shift our attention to market movers of the last week and earnings update from leading companies. Tesla, the electric vehicle maker, reported sharp gains in sales and revenues in the fourth quarter, but warned volume sales are likely to decline in 2024. Sunoco, the automotive fuel distributor, agreed to acquire New Star Energy in an all-equity transaction valued at $7.3 billion. Macy's Incorporated, the department store chain, rejected a $5.8 billion bid by a consortium of investors, citing the offer was not financially attractive and lacked credible financing. United Airlines reported strong fourth quarter revenue, but airline estimated a loss in the current quarter because of FAA's grounding of Boeing MAX 9 aircraft. General Electric estimated weaker than expected first quarter results. The company's fourth quarter results were ahead of market expectations, but investors focused on the current quarter's business conditions. 3M declined after the company estimated weak current quarter conditions and full-year earnings estimates. Halliburton increased after the oilfield services provider reported mixed quarterly results for its fourth quarter. Logitech International, the computer accessory maker, the Swiss computer accessories maker, estimated an annual sales decline between 6 and 7%, an improvement from the previous estimate. Netflix soared after the streaming service provider reported higher than expected quarterly revenue and earnings. Moreover, the company added 13.1 million net new subscribers, increasing the total to 260.8 million paid subscribers and an all-time high. Alibaba Group gained after company insiders acquired additional stakes in the China-based e-commerce platform. IBM increased after the technology company reported better than expected quarterly sales. Intel Corporation declined 10% after the advanced chip maker reported weaker than expected quarterly results and issued a cautious outlook for the current quarter. Visa Incorporated dropped after the payment processing platform reported strong quarterly results driven by robust consumer spending. However, the company signaled weakening U.S. spending volumes. Next week, world investors are looking ahead to the Federal Reserve's rate decision, non-farm payroll data, and JOLT report in the U.S. In Europe, the Bank of England is scheduled to release its monetary policy decision. Fourth quarter GDP rates for the euro area, Germany, France, and Spain, and Italy are awaited by investors. In addition, inflation figures from the euro area, Spain, France, and Germany are scheduled to be released. In Asia, investors are awaiting specific stimulus measures from Chinese policymakers. Industrial productions, housing starts, and retail sales are scheduled to be released in Japan. Earnings season enters the third week, and Microsoft, Alphabet, Apple, AMD, MasterCard, and ExxonMobil are among 700 companies scheduled to release earnings in the U.S. You can review daily U.S. and global financial market news, earnings releases, SEC filing feed, stock movers, and economic updates on ticker.com and 123jump.com. You can also get the latest financial books on Redera.com and keep up with financial industry events on eventsinamerica.com. That is all for today, and we will see you next